So what do you do when the clock is ticking on the case of a missing 9-year-old child and the mother is being uncooperative? You have a close look at what's going on in her world and you see what you can charge her with so you can get her in to the station to ask questions. So if you're not familiar with this case, this is the case of Melodee Buzzard, who's been missing since the 7th of October. The last sighting of Melodee was 2 days after that, during, I should say, a road trip that her mother made with her, where she drove from California to Nebraska and then back again. And somewhere along the return trip, she lost Melodee, handed her over to someone, it appears. Along that trip, she changed the plates of the rental car to New York plates and then changed them back to California plates before returning the car. Authorities became aware of Melodee's disappearance a week after this road trip when a school official reported to authorities that she had been absent from school for a length of time. She'd been enrolled in September, but no assignments had been handed in. So the school followed protocols, and as a result it was discovered that Melodee was missing. Now before I jump into this video, I'm going to ask you to please hit that like button so that we can get this video out there into the algorithm. The more people that see Melodee's face, the more people that become aware of this situation, the better chance there is of finding this little girl. So it was announced a few hours ago that Ashley had been arrested. She's been arrested on charges unrelated to the case. But as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, this is what authorities do when they are on the clock and needing to get some answers pretty damn quick. Now I will get back to that, but first of all I want to share an update that I had hoped to do a video on the other night, but my chihuahua was being obnoxious because he decided he was ready to go to bed and he was not going to allow me to do any more work. So anyway, let's just jump straight in.
And we turn now to an update on the search for missing 9-year-old Melodee Buzzard. It's now been exactly 3 weeks since the Vandenburg Village girl was first reported missing. Here's a look at where that investigation stands tonight.
I'm Crystal Bermudez, your community reporter in Vandenburg Village, where it's now been 3 weeks since 9-year-old Melodee Buzzard was reported missing. The Santa Barbara Sheriff's Office now narrowing its investigative focus, zeroing in on a 24-hour window when the little girl was last seen with her mother on a road trip. I spoke with her maternal grandmother, Lori Miranda, who says she just wants her family safe.
What were your first thoughts when you saw this image?
I was totally numb and in shock. This is just so shocking to me, and that my granddaughter is dressed in a disguise. This is just so overwhelming. It's just so really scary.
The latest photo released of Ashley Buzzard and her daughter Melodee is reported to be from a rental car business in Lompoc on October 7th, just before the two headed out on a multi-state road trip. It's one of several surveillance images released by the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office as detectives piece together the family's route and timeline.
They've now also released video footage, which I will share at the end of this video.
We know that Melodee was still with Ashley on that return trip, as close as the Colorado-Utah border on the Colorado side on October 9th. So this does very much shorten our timeline, our search timeline, as well as the area of the search.
Sheriff's spokesperson Raquel Zick says an out-of-state license plate was added to the rental car at some point during the trip.
We originally were looking for a Chevy Malibu with California plates. Now we're looking for a Chevy Malibu with California or New York plates, or possibly something else.
Zick tells me investigators have reached out to law enforcement in Colorado, Utah, Arizona, Nevada, and Southern California to help locate Melodee. Lori Miranda believes her daughter and granddaughter may have crossed paths with people she and Ashley's father once knew in those states.
You're saying that her father's family, his people,
And my family.
and your family are along those routes.
Utah.
Utah.
Yeah, Utah. When you start getting past Utah coming back, that's when you're running into his friends.
Now that comment is the reason why I still wanted to go through this clip, because it really stands out to me and it makes me think that there is something really significant in relation to Melodee's father's friends. What sort of associates did he have out Utah way? If you remember from probably the first video I did about Melodee, her father died when she was 6 months old, and he apparently rode a motorbike. Is this something where we should be perhaps connecting all the dots? Or is there some other scenario here that we're not aware of?
Lompoc school officials reported Melodee missing in mid-October. Authorities say Ashley has been uncooperative with investigators and has not provided any information on her daughter's whereabouts. Last week, the FBI executed a search warrant at Ashley's home as part of ongoing evidence gathering. Miranda believes Ashley knows where Melodee is and is pleading for her to speak up.
You need to tell him where the baby is. You need to tell him who's setting all these things up for you. I know you're not doing it.
If you have seen Ashley or Melodee Buzzard between October 9th and the 10th, you're urged to contact the sheriff's office. I'll continue to bring you the latest developments as they become available, as detectives work to bring Melodee back safely.
Ashley's mother has voiced what concerns me, and that is that this seems to be a very, very organised disappearance. She rented a car. She had fake plates for that car. She went beyond her destination, all the way to Nebraska, and then somewhere on the return trip between the Colorado-Utah border and California, she's handed Melodee over to somebody. That sounds very organised, and somewhat frighteningly, that sounds somewhat professional. If there was a possibility of actually tracing someone through her regular cell phone, FBI would have done that by now. Which suggests to me that this has all been done very carefully and that it was probably done with burner phones. Somebody paid for the cost of that trip, and I'm guessing it wasn't Ashley. Why did she need to put a wig on her daughter and hide her under a hoodie? Why did she herself wear a wig? It just seems to me to be a little bit too organised for something that this woman with bipolar would have come up with on her own. And let's face it, there are other people involved, because she's handed Melodee over to someone. Okay, so I'm going to read through the statement from the county regarding Ashley's arrest. So this is directly from Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office. Detectives arrest Ashley Buzzard on unrelated charges. Search for Melodee ongoing. Posted November 7th. Lompoc, California. Sheriff's detectives have arrested 40-year-old Ashley Buzzard on charges unrelated to the ongoing search for her missing 9-year-old daughter, Melodee Buzzard. Detectives learned of a recent incident where Ashley prevented a victim from leaving a location against her will, which constitutes false imprisonment. This crime is not connected to the ongoing search for Melodee. However, detectives are unable to fully outline the crime as it would impede their ongoing investigation. Now, this is interesting. On Friday, November 7th, detectives arrested Ashley on a warrant for felony charge of false imprisonment. She will be booked at the Northern Branch Jail with bail set at $100,000. Her booking photo does not meet the criteria for public release and will not be distributed. Now, that's fascinating, because usually when it comes to booking photos, they're publicly available. So I wonder what the situation is there. Seems pretty clear that they're not playing games anymore though. A bail of $100,000. She's not going anywhere. And I would imagine that she's been offered a deal here. You can face this charge, or you can actually speak up. And then they say, although this arrest occurred during the course of the missing person investigation, it is not directly related to Melodee's disappearance. Sheriff's detectives remained fully focused on locating Melodee and confirming her safety. Members of the public who've seen Melodee or who may have information about her whereabouts are urged to contact the Sheriff's office through any of the following methods. So watch how Ashley turns around and scans her surroundings while she's trying to pay for the rental car. That's a little bit odd. So this is footage of her being arrested. So I'm wondering if that's the blonde wig and she's just dyed it, or if she's just bought lots of wigs. Anyway, just a super quick update for you with footage so that people can see what's going on. So thank you for listening. Now, if you are new to my channel, please subscribe. I've set myself a goal of 7,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so you can help me get there. Also, please hit the like button, get this video out there into the algorithm so more people can see it. And of course, please leave a comment below. Thank you, and I will catch you in the next one.